Good Monday morning to you. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Martich, and this is your outlook for January 12th, 2015. And of course, we have some wintry precipitation. This is overrunning that's moving across the area today, and we're going to be paying close attention to temperatures this morning because that's going to determine what you're going to be getting outside here. Mostly a freezing rain event in our coverage area here that's shown by the GFS. Sitting right across our coverage area, this should be it's going to actually change over to rain at some point for some areas, and most of that's going to be the further south you go. As you go a little bit further in time here, GFS still shows this in the afternoon, still holding on in the northern areas as freezing rain, including northwest New Jersey. But you see from south of 78, you're looking at rain at that point. So I'm going to go over the NAM and NAM Future Simulated Radar at 7 a.m. And this is the main batch of precipitation that's going to be coming through here. You can see the 32-degree line is well to the south here. So there's going to be some evaporational cooling that's going to be taking place overnight with some lighter precipitation moving through, some sleet, some snow, things like that that's going to be moving through overnight. That's going to allow these temperatures that are very marginal to drop. So we should expect temperatures that will be below freezing as this precipitation moves in, and this will all be falling in the form of freezing rain. We think at this time it's 7 o'clock in the morning here on Monday. Going a little bit further in time here, we're going to about 9 o'clock and 10 o'clock here. We still are going to have a pretty healthy batch of precipitation moving through, but this to the south here, most of this should be rain here. The areas up here are still going to be in the freezing rain department here, so this is showing as heavy precipitation coming down here at 10 a.m. here, but you're still below freezing, especially in the valley areas up in this area here, any valley locations up within the mountains themselves, from the Lehigh Valley up in northwest New Jersey and into the Poconos, and the valley locations of the Poconos should be still below freezing at that point. So, but we do expect temperatures to rise right after that point, and this is going to be clearing out here then. As we get into the middle of the later part of the afternoon. Then we're going to have to watch for the evening here. The NAM is actually trying to show some precipitation move back in here as the temperatures are starting to crash, and you might have a brief rain ending as snow here before it ends here on Monday evening here. So looks like a two-round deal. One ends in the middle of the afternoon and it's out of here and it warms up, and then the temperatures start to drop a little bit as we get into the evening here. So mid to late evening, you could be getting into some more rain and possibly getting into snow on the northern fringe here before that moves out of here. Here's what I was talking about with temperatures on the NAM here. Here is 7 a.m. and all that precipitation you saw that was sitting over the radar here. Look what these temperatures are. Not one temperature here above freezing. So that is going to be some very cold temperatures. Even all the way down to Philadelphia, it's showing right around 32, 33 degrees and back into central Pennsylvania. So our coverage area for the most part, except when you get southeast of 995, here's your 32-degree line right like this. So anywhere northwest of that line is 32 degrees or below, and anything that's falling, of course, would be freezing rain at that point, and this would be at 7 a.m. And as you go a little bit further here, we go further to about 10 a.m., you're still below freezing at this point up in this area here, so it's still starting to warm a little bit, just enough to get this changing over to rain here in the southern areas, but north of this line here, it is colder than 32. The exception is the highest points here. Now this is kind of backward. Normally expect the highest elevations to be colder than the valley locations at lower levels. In this case, not the case. This is warm air advection, warm air overriding cold air. So if you get into these valley locations, like the Lehigh Valley is one example of that, valley locations that are up here in the northeast and northern New Jersey as well, you're going to have that cold air that's going to be trapped within the valley itself, and the warm air traveling over top of it is actually trapping that cold air at the surface. So you're going to have some valley locations that are going to hold on to this area longer. So it's going to go from the Lehigh Valley back to Lebanon. Lebanon's a very classic case of that in Lebanon County, where they have that area down here, the lower Susquehanna Valley, where you have a lot of valleys out in this area will have the same idea. So we're just going to be watching this area here. This is why we outlined this area right here as a prime target area for the highest amounts. So we're going to keep an eye on these amounts, these areas here, especially in the valley locations within our red zones of the weather alerts map that we put out as a final call. We'll be watching that area especially. And then going after this point, we were watching a system that after the system exits here, we were watching a system that would affect our area on Thursday. But this system is setting on all the model guidance right now, showing heading out to sea instead of coming up the coast and giving us a snowstorm. So we might be giving up on this idea here. Give it a small glimmer of hope, perhaps of coming close enough to affect at least parts of our coverage area here on Thursday, but right now it's not looking likely, and that just heads out to sea and keeps us in the partly cloudy skies that we're going to be dealing with this, and then mostly sunny as we head in the weekend with high pressure sitting right over top of us. This we're also going to get into a moderating trend as we head into the weekend. We're going to be into a more zonal flow. Zonal flow meaning west to east, a very fast west to east flow. So that means that we're going to be moderating a little bit, with temperatures are going to get up in the 40s, we think, beginning on Sunday. So, it's going to be a couple days of cold here, and then we're going to start moderating. This moderation period we expect to last about 3-4 days, and then we're going to go back into the extreme cold again as we get back into, say, about the 22nd or so is what we're looking at. So get through this weekend. Nice weekend coming up here with the temperatures moderating a little bit in early next week, and then the middle of next week we think we'll drop again back down to the cold and hopefully stormy for those of you that are waiting around for some snow that has been avoiding us so far. Be careful out there today. If you're traveling or walking with the areas that have the freezing rain, very treacherous travel and icy conditions on the walkways. Just take it easy and be careful. I'm Eastern PA Weather Authority meteorologist Bobby Marchers. That is your outlook for January 12th, 2015. Have a great Monday.